Sony messed up the pre-orders. The rage is real. Guess a lot of people won't be getting a PlayStation 5. Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Bamcomixs, the video review show that you just can't get enough of, with your host, OC. If you like the video, why don't you give a thumbs up right now, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification button for all the latest news and reviews. So let's just jump into the Week in Geek. We got a lot to cover and a lot to talk about. Number one, the pre-order scandal. This is making news all around the net. People from all types of walks of life in video game fandom have just been like, Sony, what have you been doing, Sony? Sony, you messed up. Sony, listen to me. You just can't do what you're doing. You gotta stop, okay? Sony came out with their showcase this week, and let me tell you something. It was underwhelming, to say the least. So they announced the pre-orders that were gonna go live. It's Sony! Let me tell you something, guys. Sony messed up on the pre-orders. This is what they did. Alright, to jump into the Week in Geek, where we're gonna talk about today a whole variety of issues. So let's strap in, because the news is spicy and the news is hot. So strap in, because it's back. Alex! Sony announced at the showcase the PlayStation 5. It unveiled it again for those of you who missed the last showcase. I guess this is the update to the showcase from the showcase. This is the new showcase. Sony unveiled the games again, a lineup of games, but this time I guess they wanted to make sure that you guys know that Sony PlayStation 5 is coming and it can be pre-ordered. So I guess the showcase was more about the pricing of the PlayStation 5, the models that you're gonna be able to select from the PlayStation 5, and of course the lineup of games that are coming to the Sony PlayStation 5. So the pre-orders, they did say that it was going to be opening up for pre-order on Thursday. People already pre-ordering them Wednesday, so by the time you got to Thursday, it's completely sold out. Now, I don't know who to blame here, if it's Sony or if it's the retailers or if it's both. But clearly, a message in the chain of command was not followed, because how do you present how do you do a tech demo for a new product and tell the public that the pre-orders are going to start on Thursday, and then when everyone goes to try to pre-order it on Thursday, it's sold out because on Wednesday everyone is buying them? So clearly Sony messed up, or the retailers broke the street date and started selling these PlayStation 5s everywhere. So Best Buy, GameStop, all of the major retailers, Target, just everywhere, being just like hotcakes, like whoop, 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 like just like sold out, guys. And it's almost like that FOMO feeling, right? The fear of missing out. Like, everybody wants this new technology, everybody wants this new console of the PlayStation 5, and people don't want to miss out. They want to play a Miles Morales Spider-Man, and they have their pre-orders locked in. It's just crazy, Sony, how like you can mess with your fan base like this and know that people will still buy your product even after you mess up, even after you tell everybody and you make the announcement live on your showcase telling people that the digital version of the PlayStation and the disc drive physical version can be pre-ordered on Thursday, and then you completely negate everything you say, and now the fans are just left with like, I guess I won't be getting a PlayStation 5 when it comes out. Why am I not excited for PlayStation 5? I should be more excited. I know a lot of people are upset that they weren't able to order a PlayStation 5. A lot of people are actually really upset about it. And if you go, of course, on YouTube, you're gonna see a lot of videos of, you know, different YouTubers really upset at this. Now, as for me, I thought I was gonna be upset, but in reality I wasn't, because I wasn't actively trying to purchase a PlayStation 5. Now, as you guys know, I'm a big gamer. I've been gaming ever since Atari's Joust. That's how old I am of a gamer. And just seeing the Sony's showcase this time, I really wasn't impressed, guys, by the lineup, by the games that they were selling, mainly because I've played all of these games already, guys. I've played all of them, so it's like we've almost reached this plateau in gaming where, like, you know, we've moved from the early days of Atari, we've moved through Nintendo, Genesis, Sega, Xbox, PlayStation, and then it's not like we've hit this plateau in gaming where everything is either a remaster, a remake, a reissue, reusing the same ideas. And, you know, I don't have a problem reusing the same ideas, but you can do it in a creative way. So in the Sony showcase, I saw Devil May Cry. Again, I own the Devil May Cry already for the PlayStation 4. I just saw like a lot of games that like were the same, that either I already own, I beat already. I'm not too excited about the Spider-Man Miles Morales, even though it's great that Miles Morales has his own game. I just feel that this is just gonna be like another Spider-Man. The same thing as Spider-Man with a Miles Morales skin. And the fact that we got the Tinkerer as like the main villain, I mean, Miles Morales, you have so many amazing villains in the Marvel universe. You have so many amazing villains, and the Tinkerer is the one that you want to go with? Okay. Not impressed, Sony. When I saw the PlayStation Plus collection, that's a big example of where we're going with this. It's almost like, what exactly are we paying for, okay? I mean, the same, right? The same stuff. So it's almost like with the president of Sony PlayStation Entertainment, the creative director, came out and said that we're excited to once again be partnering with Rockstar Studios to bring you Grand Theft Auto 5, a game that came out in 2013. That everybody already owns. Like, I thought that they were gonna talk about Grand Theft Auto 6. I was like so excited that this wasn't this showcase. It was the showcase prior. The guy came out. This is the guy who would know, right? The actual president and creative director at Sony PlayStation came out and said, we're once again excited to be partnering with Rockstar Games to bring you PlayStation 5. I mean, guys, I don't get it. I don't get it. I do not get it. Okay, the only games there I was really kind of excited for in the showcase was of course, the Wizarding World. I'm not so big into Harry Potter, but that Wizarding World game just looked like, okay, something out of the box. Okay, it's not really Harry Potter per se. You're not really controlling Harry Potter, but the fact that you're a student that goes to study at Hogwarts, you get to study magic inside of the school, and then you go outside. It looks like an open world game where you have adventures outside of the school using your magic. I thought that one blew me away. Okay, I was like, wow, okay, Sony, okay, the Wizarding World, that was great. Of course, the sneak little preview of the God of War 5. Again, it's just like, you know, sequels after sequels. I mean, what can you do? You're running out of ideas. I guess you go into the sequels. But God of War, the last one that came out, actually was an amazing masterpiece. Yeah, the only real game that came out that wasn't a sequel that I saw in the showcase was the Harry Potter, The Wizarding World. That's not what it's called. It's not called Harry Potter, but the game that I was really impressed with out of the showcase that wasn't a prequel or a sequel or a remaster or a reissue or a reboot was The Wizarding World. The PlayStation Plus collection, which is a collection of games for people maybe who've never played a PlayStation before. I mean, you have, what do you have there? Arkham Knight, you have God of War, you have all of the PlayStation hits that you can play again. You have no plan, guys. You're just selling the same stuff over and over and over again. You got all of these game companies and game developers who are cashing in on the franchises they know, but don't need to put in an effort already because they've established themselves as companies that are too big to fail. So, big example of this, you know, that coming in the movie world, in the movie news, that there's going to be talks in the movie world of the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix getting a trilogy. Is this gonna be something that us viewers want? A trilogy with Joaquin Phoenix? Why don't we just leave it alone? Why don't we just leave the Joker as the Joker and move on to explore other characters in the DC universe? There's more characters than Batman and Joker, guys. And I would like to see a character like Green Lantern have his due in the DC universe. Or a character like Constantine. Or a character like Booster Gold. Or just, you know, just Lobo. You know, just give other characters a chance. No, let's just go what we know sells to people. Let's not take a risk. Okay, so we're getting also a new Scream movie, right? And a new Fast and Furious movie in space. So, you know, as long as people continue to buy them, they're going to continue to make them. So, no need for new ideas. No plan. Which takes me back to the news that was just broke, of course, recently about Daisy Ridley confirming that they had no plan going into Star Wars for her character, Rey. And she confirms this. This is news, guys. This is part of our Week in Geek segment that we're reviewing today. That the character was supposed to be... They had no idea what was going on with Rey. At one point, she was supposed to be linked to Obi-Wan. So they kept switching it. Which confirms in my mind what I already knew. That this is the worst sequel trilogy of all time, guys.
Have you been keeping Rey's secret from the beginning? Did you know about the parentage? Like, tell me about that journey of when you found out.
No. At the beginning, there was toying with like an Obi-Wan connection, and then it really went, there were like different versions, and then it really went to that she was no one. And then it came to episode 9, and JJ pitched me the film and was like, oh yeah, Palpatine's granddaddy. And I was like, awesome. And then 2 weeks later, he was like, oh, we're not sure. So it kept changing.
The Star Wars thing, which you know, people come up, they're like, oh, see, the new trilogy. Listen, if you like the new trilogy, good for you. Like, more power to you if you like the new trilogy. But you can't defend, there's no argument that you guys have for the sequel lovers. Which, again, if I say, if you guys love the sequels, you're entitled to like what you like. I respect all points of view. But we can respect disagreefully, right? Disagreefully. We can disagree and respectfully disagree and still be friends. You can't defend the fact that which she made when Daisy gave that interview talking about Rey's character, now that so many months have passed, so much time already has passed from the sequel trilogy, that now, you know, the cast come out and admit that they had no plan for this character. And what I don't get is how you spend $4 billion to acquire the intellectual property of Star Wars, which is probably the greatest intellectual property in the history of cinema, Star Wars. You spend $4 billion to acquire this property from George Lucas, and you have no plan of what to do with it. Okay, no, George, I know you want to help us, but it's okay. We don't need your help, George. We don't need your scripts, or we don't need your story ideas. George Lucas was going to help him. George Lucas was like, yeah, I got some ideas. And they lied. They're like, yeah, George, we'll use your ideas. Yeah, sure, yeah. $4 billion, guys, to acquire that. And they didn't even have a plan as to the main character. Okay, they're just making it up as they go along. Nothing about, let's just write a script, a long script, and we're going to cut it into 3 pieces. Or let's just write the 3 pieces, like going in, you have a plan, right? Let's just write the 3 scripts, part 1, part 2, part 3, and then we're going to review them, and then we're going to make the movies. No, you would just make it up as we go along. So no wonder you need Jon Favreau and David Filoni to come back to save the wreckage. David Filoni, Clone Wars. Jon Favreau, The Mandalorian, debuting October 30th on Disney+. So these are the things that are really, you know, holding up Star Wars. Especially Mandalorian. Everyone's excited to see Baby Yoda. Excuse me, the child. If you buy something for $4 billion, you want to treat it with, like, with reverence, with care, right? No, forget about it. My boy right here, holding up the franchise. It's hard for a little guy to hold up so much of Star Wars, but he's doing it. Fresh ideas. You know, you tell the same story, but in a different way. That's what The Mandalorian is doing, with its lone wolf and cub storyline in space. Now, talking about fresh ideas, talking about telling about the same story but in a different way. Let's talk about fresh ideas, the same story that can be told in a different way. And I'm talking about the Netflix series that I've recently finished, Cobra Kai. Okay, now, you know, Cobra Kai is an example of how you bring a franchise back the right way, okay, guys? Now, as you know, many of you guys in the movie kingdom are familiar with the Karate Kid. This story takes place some 30 odd years after the end of the original Karate Kid, where we're following, okay, Daniel, but more specifically, we're following Johnny. So Johnny, who's everyone's think is the bully of the original Karate Kid, the character is given depth, is given nuance, and is given the opportunity to grow. Alright, he's already an older man and he's looking at his younger self. It's just like such a great show. Cobra Kai, to me, seasons 1 and 2, flawless. Okay? That's how you do a franchise right, with the proper respect, with the proper reverence, with the proper, you know, homage to the past, respecting the past, but also passing the torch to the future generation. That's something that Star Wars should have done. When I was looking at Cobra Kai, and I wasn't expecting to like this show, I thought, oh, you know, this is just gonna be some cheap karate show with some references, I guess, to the past, Karate Kid or whatever, and it was gonna be garbage. Boy, was I wrong on that. Cobra Kai was excellent, okay? And for those of you guys out there who've seen the original Karate Kid, please give this show a chance if you haven't already. This show is really actually an old show coming out 2017 on YouTube, and only recently has it made its way to Netflix. But such a great decision on Netflix part to pick up this show, because third season is already going to be coming out soon in the future, and I already pre-ordered seasons 1 and 2 on its limited edition. And let me tell you, the show is really great. It's like, it turns the tables on what you think. And it's not just good guys versus bad guys, but different shades of gray, which is what real life is. There's no clear cut, you know, good guy over here, bad guy over there. Yeah, there's a scene in the show, like, just, so for example, for context of what I'm talking about, guys, like, the show plays with your expectations. Sometimes you could predict what's gonna happen in the next scene, but sometimes you can't predict. Like, you predict it, and then the opposite of what you think is gonna happen happens, but in a different and interesting way. Not like Star Wars, but like just better. There's a scene in the movie where they're in the karate tournament at the All Valley Championship for the modern age, right? For now, and Daniel's student is losing to Cobra Kai, so they're in the locker room, and I mean, I don't want to spoil who Daniel's student is, because this show is so great with callbacks to the original, which everything is all good. But Daniel says his student's like, Sensei, it hurts. Sensei, I'm in pain. And Daniel does like what Mr. Miyagi did for him, and Daniel's like this. And Daniel goes like, oh, no problem. This will help you out. And like, you think like he's gonna heal him, and then he's like, paramedic. Oh, guys, the show is so good, guys. The show is so good. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. I'm crying because it's so beautiful. It just goes to show that you could still make a new version of an old story, but tell it in a different and interesting way. Okay? You don't have to completely throw your characters in the garbage, Last of Us 2. You don't have to, you know, to make it interesting, destroy everything, Star Wars. You know, you can still use the same idea, but you can flip it in a way that engages the audience, makes them nostalgic for the past, but without relying heavily on the past, and making a story for the new generation. And that's what Cobra Kai does so brilliantly. It's not even to the level that it has to be so brilliant, just entertaining. Last night I saw a movie, another zombie movie, yes, but the zombie movie, I'm thinking the genre is done already. What can you do? Everything has already been done. Yeah, zombies on trains, zombies on planes, zombies everywhere, zombies, right? It gives me hope as a writer that one day maybe I can write a zombie movie. I mean, ideas have been done millions and millions of times before, right? But you could still approach it from a new angle. So the movie that I saw was Alive on Netflix, or #Alive. And this is a zombie movie concentrating on an outbreak that just happens, where the main character just sees it happening from his apartment, and how he reacts to being locked inside of his apartment. So guys, I highly recommend that you watch Alive. It's great. It's just, you know, it includes the commentary of zombie apocalypse in the time of social media, and how you navigate technology to help you out during a zombie apocalypse. The movie was just brilliant. I had a great time. I think it runs at like 1 hour and 40 minutes or 1 hour and 30 minutes. It's not too long of a movie, but it's entertaining. It's an entertaining popcorn flick. So if you have the chance, definitely give Alive your viewing time. And as me, as a rater, I give this a 5 out of 5 stars. really entertaining flick. I had fun. I watched it. I was like, man, like, what's gonna happen next? Some parts predictable, some parts unpredictable, but the fact that they attach you to the main characters, the fact that the movie, you know, the movie is really good at making you feel for the main characters, so you really want them to win and you're rooting for them. Talking about Cobra Kai and talking about martial arts and fightings and reusing ideas and the fact that we've hit that plateau in the gaming industry. Sometimes you get an old game. Now, in my hand is a box by the company Limited Run Games, and Limited Run is a company that actually makes physical media from old games, so old games that are no longer being made, old games that you can't get your hands on anymore or you can only get digitally. This is a forever physical shop that specializes in limited release physical runs of out-of-date games or only digital games. So, as a fan of physical games and as a collector of games, when I stumbled upon this company on Instagram, I'm like, oh wow, this is cool. They're coming out with a new Metal Slug, but it's, you know, it's Metal Slug but a physical copy. So you have the Neo Geo memories, right? You have Star Wars Squadron, but you have the physical copy, the old Star Wars Squadron. So we're gonna unbox this limited run and see what we get in here. Okay, Limited Run Games, guys. This is my first purchase from Limited Run Games. I ordered this a while ago and it took a while to come in. So let's see what we get in the box. Guys, please leave us a like. I hope we've earned your subscribe. This is OC from Bamcomixs. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Bamcomixs. Wow! Guys, this one is a package. Basically, we have a little bit of an overview here of our Limited Run Games fans newsletter. So we do get a newsletter in the box, okay? We get the game that we've ordered, and this is an example of the product that we get. Streets of Rage 4. Don't be fooled by the Genesis packaging. This is sort of like a retro homage to the old school Genesis, but this is the game. Streets of Rage 4, 1 to 4 players, and 26 years later, Streets of Rage is finally back with a new episode. I mean, granted, Streets of Rage was one of my favorite games growing up as a gamer for the Sega Genesis, and 26 years, that's a lot of time. I guess you guys do definitely warrant a sequel after 26 years. But with lush hand-drawn animations, new combat abilities, and fresh tracks from an amazing team of composers, Streets of Rage 4 is a masterful return to the classic action fans adore. 2 online players, up to 4 locally. 17 playable characters, including 12 in pixel art. Classic gameplay enhanced with brand new features, 12 stages, and 12 game modes, okay? So, very beautiful Streets of Rage. Here we get the soundtrack, Streets of Rage, and here we get a limited edition, hard, limited run art card of Streets of Rage. Okay, guys? So, this has been the Week in Geek. A moment of silence for the passing of Chadwick Boseman, who many of you know passed away recently, and just was an amazing actor in his own right. Just really influenced a generation of people to just do what they want in terms of following their dreams, you know, despite adversity, despite the fact that you know, he had cancer, but he still was able to say, you know what, that's not gonna stop anything. I'm not gonna tell anybody about this. I'm gonna continue. I'm going to make everything happen. And it was just such a brilliant actor gone too soon. You know, more than Black Panther. You know, young Marshall Goodman, young Thurgood Marshall in the film Marshall, Jackie Robinson in 42, James Brown in Get Up On It. So just an amazing actor. Moment of silence for Chadwick Boseman. So guys, stay tuned for our video game review of Streets of Rage 4. I'm really excited for this. I know if you guys watch our live videos on Instagram, we also unboxed the Sega Genesis controller for the game. So guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been OC from Bamcomixs. Hit that notification, hit that subscribe, and as always, hit that like, leave those comments below. Thanks for watching. And this has been OC from Bamcomixs. Have a great week, guys. See you next time. Peace.